What does it take to become the greatest in the history of Formula One? Raw speed, mental resilience, the right car? Or is it something deeper, an unshakable belief that you belong at the very top, even when the world tells you otherwise? Lewis Hamilton's story is not just one of statistics or trophies. It's the story of a boy from Stevenage, the son of a working-class immigrant family, who against all odds climbed to the very summit of motorsport. He has faced racism, political controversy, and even the crushing weight of expectation. But through it all, he transformed himself into a 7-time world champion, the face of Formula One, and perhaps the greatest driver the sport has ever seen. But to understand Hamilton's greatness, you have to start at the very beginning. Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton was born on January 7, 1985 in the town of Stevenage, Hertfordshire, England. He was born to a family with mixed ethnic backgrounds, the son of Anthony Hamilton, who was of Grenadian descent, and Carmen Labalestier, who was of English descent. Although his parents separated early in his childhood, both his mother and father remained present in his life. Lewis grew up with his mother until the age of 10, when he moved to his father's home and spent his childhood at the center of his father's intense efforts. His competitive spirit emerged at a very early age. Even at the age of 5, the remote-controlled car his father gave him was not just a toy, but the first sign of his future career.
Hey, how long have you been racing cars for already, Lewis?
About a year.
Who won the race? Lewis, well done. Congratulations.
By the age of 6, this passion grows even stronger, and by the time he turns 8, Lewis gets his first go-kart. Karting is an expensive sport, and taking on this burden seems almost impossible for the family. However, Anthony Hamilton makes an extraordinary sacrifice to ensure his son's talent is not wasted. He works as an IT consultant during the day, washes dishes in restaurants at night, rushes around doing extra jobs on weekends, and on top of all this, takes on the roles of his son's manager, mechanic, coach, and source of encouragement. While trying to keep the household afloat, he dedicates his entire life to this dream, ensuring Lewis progresses step by step on the track. The rewards for Lewis's efforts came very quickly. Before he even turned 10, he began winning national karting championships. His speed and determination on the track set him apart from his peers. At an awards ceremony he attended at the same age, he had an encounter that would change his life.
When I met Ron Dennis, I asked for his autograph in my autograph book. I asked for him to put his address down and his phone number, and he wrote in the autograph book, phone me in 9 years and we'll sort something out then.
In 1998, at just 13 years old, Lewis Hamilton was accepted into McLaren's Young Driver program, and the question on everyone's mind was, will he really be able to do it? In 2001, he won the European and World Karting Championships. In 2002, he finished 3rd in the Formula Renault UK Series. By 2003, he lifted the championship trophy and stepped into Formula 3. In 2004, he settled for 5th place, but in 2005, everything changed. He won 15 out of 20 races, rewriting the rules of the game. By then, everyone knew this kid was something special. In 2006, he moved up to GP2. In his rookie season, he became champion, and then Formula One.
But then I met Ron and I went up to him and I was very confident. I said, one day I want to drive your car or something like that.
When McLaren handed him a seat, his dream had come true. And sitting right there in the other seat, none other than the 2-time world champion himself, Fernando Alonso. A better mentor was impossible to imagine, but so was a tougher rival.
Now Alonso's not getting on with it. Only 1:40 to go. Is he blocking Hamilton here? Is that a bit of a tactic within the team there to give Hamilton a bit of a headache? I think it might well be. That's really...
First of all, you were on the harder tire compared with your teammate, if you could talk about that a little bit. And also, those rather strange delays before you went out for both runs. Was that your decision or the team holding you back?
Anyway, the rookie arrived. He debuted in 2007, a podium in his very first race, actually in all of his first 9 races, and his first Grand Prix victory in Canada. In his rookie season, he won 4 races and missed the championship by just a single point. However, by 2008, Formula One had found its new star. The Brazilian Grand Prix, final corner, final lap, final move.
But he is going to claim 5th place, which is all he needs to do to become the 2008 Formula One World Champion.
Lewis Hamilton became the youngest world champion in Formula One history at the age of 23. But 2 years later,
Sebastian Vettel, you are the world champion!
But that's a story for another video. If you don't want to miss it, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's get back on track. The period from 2009 to 2012 proved to be quite challenging for Hamilton. McLaren was still providing him with a fast car. Hamilton was winning races and securing podium finishes, but the team seemed to struggle to consistently deliver a stable and competitive car.
What was that all about then? Why did that drop? It's between the two Lesmos. That seemed to surprise him.
And this was repeated for years.
Okay, Lewis, I'm sorry, we cannot continue racing. We cannot continue racing. Box this lap.
A problem for Lewis Hamilton. Our race leader going very slowly indeed, and once again it looks like something mechanical.
The series of mechanical failures and unfinished races clearly showed that McLaren could no longer provide Hamilton with a car reliable enough to win the championship. And yes, as you know, that's when Mercedes came in. A grand vision, a long-term plan, and a bold offer. It seemed like a risky decision to most people, but Hamilton saw his future there. In 2013, he closed the chapter on McLaren and moved to Mercedes. Thus, a new era in Formula One was about to begin.
World champion!
The 2013 season was a year of learning and adaptation for Lewis Hamilton. He made a strong start to the season with 5 pole positions and a Hungarian GP victory, but finished 4th in the overall standings. This was the same position he had held for the previous 4 years, but the real game was time. Mercedes had ample opportunity to adapt to Hamilton's driving style, develop the car, and gain experience. By 2014, Formula One underwent a major transformation. The introduction of 1.6-litre turbo hybrid engines elevated engineering and driver skills to a new level.
It is achieved with a downsized 1.6-litre turbo hybrid engine.
Mercedes had a secret weapon.
The PU106A hybrid combines a turbocharged direct injection V6 engine with an advanced hybrid energy recovery system to become the most advanced power unit in the history of Formula One.
When Hamilton's skill and the team's engineering prowess combined, they achieved complete dominance on the track. Hamilton racked up consecutive victories, thrilling his fans with a win at his home race in England. However, this journey wasn't always smooth. Despite some mistakes and crashes on the track, Hamilton never lost his resolve and secured his 2nd world championship at the end of the season.
World champion! I can't believe it!
Reaching the pinnacle of his career once again.
Finally, you can say you are a double world champion.
That sounds really cool.
But reaching the summit was only the beginning of a new rivalry. They're such lovely teammates, right? Not really.
Despite a season-long fight with his teammate Lewis Hamilton, the Brit was crowned champion at the US.
The 2015 season saw the battle between Hamilton and Rosberg intensify. Rosberg knew the car and the tracks very well, and Mercedes was able to capitalize on his strengths. As a result, the races were neck and neck throughout the season, with Hamilton leading in one race and Rosberg coming out on top in the next. Viewers witnessed what Formula One is all about during this season. 2 championship contenders pushing each other and their limits at every turn. By the end of the season, Hamilton delivered an incredible performance to secure his 3rd World Championship title.
British driver, and he is now a 3-time world champion, Lewis Hamilton.
But all of this would be overshadowed by the upcoming season. The 2016 season went down in history as a remarkable year. The Mercedes team demonstrated its dominance by winning 19 out of 21 races, but the rivalry between the drivers would be talked about more than the team's dominance. In the season's first race, the Australian Grand Prix, Rosberg was in the lead and Hamilton was 2nd. The rivalry continued in the Bahrain, Chinese, and Russian races. However, the 5th race of the season, the Spanish Grand Prix, took the rivalry to a whole new level. A major crash occurred at turn 3 after contact between Hamilton and Rosberg, resulting in both Mercedes cars colliding.
Hamilton's onto the grass, and Hamilton's had a massive crash, and he's crashed into his teammate. The 2 Mercedes come together.
This came as a huge shock to both the team and the drivers.
We have the safety car out here, but the 2 Silver Arrows have crashed on the opening lap. Hamilton takes out his teammates.
By the way, if anyone is curious, Max Verstappen won that race, and talk of his future potential began immediately.
Max Verstappen wins 19 Grand Prix in a single season.
Anyway, the rivalry between Hamilton and Rosberg throughout the season was like something out of a movie script. While Mercedes continued to dominate the other drivers, the other teams could only watch from afar. Hamilton completed the season with great skill. He either won the races or his car was out of the race. The Abu Dhabi GP was the unforgettable finale of the season, a 5.5-kilometer race with 21 turns, lasting from sunrise to sunset. In the final race, Rosberg was 12 points ahead of Hamilton, and the championship was completely open to the winner. Hamilton delivered an incredible performance despite the pressure and won the race.
Lewis Hamilton wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
However, he lost the championship because Rosberg finished no lower than 4th place.
Nico Rosberg is second. He takes the championship.
Thus, Nico Rosberg secured his first and only world championship title, breaking Hamilton's 2-year championship streak. And just 5 days after the end of the season, Rosberg made a shocking announcement.
I want to take the opportunity to announce that I've decided to end my Formula One career.
This decision caused a huge shock, but was eventually met with respect. Rosberg ended his career at the peak of his success, creating his own legend, and this moment went down in Formula One history as an unforgettable turning point. But the biggest obstacle for Lewis was gone, and with Rosberg being replaced by Valtteri Bottas, nothing could stop Lewis now. 2017 marked the beginning of the most mature period of Lewis Hamilton's career. With new car regulations, the balance of power in Formula One had shifted.
2017 sees one of the biggest regulation shakeups in years, with major changes to the tyres and bodywork to increase performance.
Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel had become a serious threat for the championship.
Grazie, dai, forza Ferrari!
Vettel led in the first half of the season, with Hamilton constantly under pressure. But after the summer break, things started going his way. His amazing defense at Spa, winning in front of Ferrari fans at Monza, and especially his dominant drive at Austin. All of these demonstrated once again just how resilient a champion Hamilton is. Ultimately, he finished the 2017 season at the top and secured his 4th world championship.
And he crosses the line now to become the 4-time world champion. Lewis Hamilton does it in 2017, and he can scarcely believe what has happened for this season.
And this was just the beginning.
Lewis Hamilton, the man from Stevenage, has done it once again. As he rounds the final corner, it's high fives for Lewis Hamilton, a 5-time champion of the world. Here comes Valtteri Bottas, started on pole for the US Grand Prix, crosses the line to win the US Grand Prix. But behind him, adding another championship to his collection, he's got 6 appeal in Austin. It's Lewis Hamilton, champion of the world. The World Championship record is equalled. Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
But every dynasty has an end. Hamilton's years of dominance were beginning to be shaken by the rise of a young star. After the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix on December 5th, 2021, Lewis Hamilton failed to win again for a long time. But why? The answer lay in the changing rules of Formula One, as it had in 2014 and 2017. In 2022, the FIA introduced new regulations. Aerodynamic rules were rewritten, car floors were cut, diffusers were reduced in size, and winglets were restricted. Pirelli also introduced a completely new tyre structure. These changes completely disrupted the balance of Formula One, and Mercedes was not as prepared as it had been at the dawn of the hybrid era. The car struggled with a bouncing issue known as porpoising and had difficulty finding tyre-friendly setups. In short, Hamilton's weapon was no longer as powerful as it once was. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen took center stage. He established such dominance with Red Bull that from Miami to Mexico, from Baku to Spain, everyone now knew the Dutch national anthem by heart. Hamilton still made it to the podium and created miraculous moments, but the top spot was no longer his. It belonged to Verstappen. The final stop would be Ferrari. The world's most established team was giving Hamilton the opportunity to write a new miracle. Who knows? Maybe he can write a new miracle in the final chapter of his career. And yeah, maybe the records will be broken one day. Maybe new heroes will emerge. But when it comes to the final lap, the final corner, the moment when everything is decided, no one would hesitate to want Hamilton at the wheel, because he is one of the greatest champions Formula One has ever seen. Perhaps the greatest.